Well, good Wednesday evening to you, or whatever day and time that you are seeing this. I'm Susan Zollinger. I'm practitioner and training here at Center for Spiritual Living, La Crescenta. And today, my message, my metaphysical lesson, is kind of about love and appreciation for our bodies. You know, we so often take our bodies for granted, but these bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. And so today we're going to acknowledge our body and appreciate it. And what I thought I would use is some wonderful affirmations that Louise Hay has from her book, You Can Heal Your Life. You can't tell that I've been into this at all. I've had this one for years. I think this is my third copy now. So at the back of her book, she has affirmations for just about every single part of our body, for illnesses and conditions. I mean, that would take days to go through that, but there's also like a little page that gives us a synopsis of an overview of our body, and that is what I'm going to use. But to get started, I thought this past Wednesday's Science of Mind daily guide, which is written by Ernest Holmes in the month of October because it's the anniversary of the beginning of our Science of Mind magazine and guide. And I thought this kind of fit in because he talks about thoughts that govern conditions. And it goes, "It is easy for the average person to see how it is that mind can control and, to a certain extent, govern the functions of the body. Some can go even further than this and see that the body is governed entirely by consciousness. This they can see without much difficulty, but it is not easy for them to see it is thought that governs their conditions and decides whether they are to be successes or failures. Here we will stop to ask the question, if our conditions are not controlled by thought, by what then are they controlled? Some will say that conditions are controlled by circumstances. But what are circumstances? Are they cause or are they effect? Of course, they are always effect. Everything we see is an effect. An effect is something that follows a cause, and we are dealing with causation only. Effects do not make themselves, but they are held in place by mind or causation. If this does not answer your thought, begin over again and realize that behind everything that is seen is the silent cause. In your life, you are that cause. There is nothing but mind, and nothing moves except as mind moves it. We have agreed that while God is love, yet your life is governed absolutely by mind or law. In our lives of conditions, we are the cause, and nothing moves except as our mind moves it." So that is speaking to our oneness with God, that we are complete, perfect, and whole in God. And so our mind is the mind of God working through us to express the conditions of our lives. So now Louise Hay has gathered information over her years that she was a religious science practitioner, and she had put together a list of, body conditions and parts. And so as well as diseases or things that as she counseled with people, she would often hear them say things over and over again, and she put together that list. And this list gives you, say the part of your body, like your shoulders, and then she'll have kind of what our shoulders represent, and then there will be an affirmation. So if our shoulders are having problems or giving us pain in any way, we can use this affirmation to start changing our thought pattern about what things are happening in our body. And saying an affirmation it doesn't change the course of our lives immediately. Because, of course, we can say an affirmation, but we don't always believe it. But if we say it over, and we say it over, and we start to embody that affirmation, then our mind, putting in that positive action into our body, will help us change our perspective of, say, whatever might ail us, and start to begin to heal it, to relax it, to get a little bit better than we have been before. So here's what she had to say about the list. And that is right here. This is a quote from Louise Hay from her book. "I learned that there are really just two mental patterns that contribute to dis-ease: fear and anger. Anger can show up as impatience, irritation, frustration, criticism, resentment, jealousy, or bitterness. These are all thoughts that poison the body. When we release this burden, all the organs in our body begin to function properly. Fear could be tension, anxiety, nervousness, worry, doubt, insecurity, feeling not good enough, or unworthiness. Do you relate to any of this stuff? We must learn to substitute faith for fear if we are to heal." Faith in what? Faith in life. I believe that we live in a yes universe. No matter what we choose to believe or think, the universe always says yes to us. If we think poverty, the universe says yes to that. If we think prosperity, the universe says yes to that. So we want to think and believe that we have the right to be healthy, that health is natural to us. The universe will support and say yes to this belief. Be a yes person and know that you live in a yes world being responded to by a yes universe. So I just want to kind of tell you a little story about what had happened to me recently. I had been experiencing some shoulder pain. Many of you know that my mom has passed on, and the house that I had been living in to care for our family house for 60 years, was going to be sold and is in the process of closing escrow within the next week. And my pain, at first I thought it was in my neck, but my neck, of course, has got all these muscles that connect to my shoulders, and eventually I kind of isolated it and felt this, terrible lump of muscle all knotted up. And I was looking through Louise's book, and so she talks about the shoulders, as I had mentioned before, and the shoulders represent our ability to carry out experiences in life joyously. We make life a burden by our attitude. And I was having kind of a bad attitude, I think, about selling the house and the whole having to move and pack and all that stuff. So I was trying to use the affirmation, "I choose to allow all my experiences to be joyous and loving." And while that was good, it didn't really relieve that pain that I was feeling. But, I would keep at it. And one night I was out for a walk and just kind of, letting all the thoughts of the day drift out. And it came to me. I guess I was quiet. I was listening to the still small voice within. And it came to me that I'm resenting all this. I'm resenting having to pack. I'm resenting having to move. I'm resenting that it's just me and my son going through this. And of course, part of that's my own fault. I'm not really asking help for this. But once I had that thought, once I had that realization, the pain started to lift, and more and more and more did my body loosen up, and now I don't have it. It's not there anymore, so I am going on. So let's just look at some of the things that Louise has in her thought patterns, new thought patterns for our body. So we think about our face and her thought pattern, her affirmation, and it is safe to be me. I express who I am. And from our head, peace, love, joy, relaxation. I relax into the flow of life and let life flow through me with ease. She's got an affirmation for our brain. All of life is change. My growth patterns are ever new. For our ears, I listen to God. I hear the joys of life. I am part of life. I listen with love. She even has something for our sinuses. I declare peace and harmony indwell me. Surround me at all times. All is well. For our mouth, I am a decisive person. I follow through. I welcome new ideas and new concepts. I nourish myself with love. Let's talk about our lungs. I take in life in perfect balance. The breath of life flows easily through me. And again, for our shoulders, life is joyous and free. All that I accept is good. So there's all kinds of affirmations here. I don't know if you've got the book. You can always come to us. We can order it for you, or you can always go online someplace and find it. But there is so much good in here about our body. And if we've got an issue, if we've got a problem, we can resolve it. We can resolve it by changing our thought patterns about it. Just like I changed my mind, like, oh, the light went off. I'm resentful. And that started to alleviate the things that I was feeling in my body. So to close out, Louise Hay has got a beautiful, beautiful prayer here. And she says, in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I accept health as the natural state of my being. I now consciously release any mental patterns within me that could express as dis-ease in any way. I love and approve of myself. I love and approve of my body. I feed it nourishing foods and beverages. I exercise it in ways that are fun. I recognize my body as wondrous and magnificent machine, and I feel privileged to live in it. I love lots of energy. All is well in my world, and so it is.